I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we have a story about the Texas Commission rules. Nate Diaz will be tested for marijuana ahead of the Jake Paul boxing match. Former UFC superstar Nate Diaz won't be allowed to smoke up a joint shortly before he faces Jake Paul in August. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation ruled that Diaz will be subjected to marijuana testing for his matchup with Jake Paul. News of the ruling comes hours after Diaz manager Zach Rosenfeld said during a recent press scrum that they were working with the commission to potentially earn an exemption. MMA Fighting was the first to report the commission's decision, saying no. Diaz and Paul will collide in the boxing ring on August 5th, 2023 in Dallas at the American Airlines Center. Diaz is making his professional boxing debut following a long tenure in MMA with the UFC. Let me see. Diaz has long been an avid consumer of marijuana, myself too, otherwise known as weed or cannabis or Mary Jane. During his athletic career, during past pre-fight open workouts, he's been smoking marijuana before, during, and after. He said before, during, and after. Hold on, before, during, and after. Oh my goodness. Diaz also smoked at a pre-fight press conference, including just days before his fight with Leon Edwards at UFC 263. Nate Diaz and his brother Nick own their own cannabis company called Game Up Nutrition, which they launched in 2017 and is based near where the Diaz brothers grew up in Stockton, California. As of this writing, recreational marijuana is still illegal in Texas. It's only legal to use for medical purposes with a doctor prescription. It's uncertain if the decision, by the commission will impact whether or not Nate Diaz goes through with the fight, but it's a potential obstacle to watch in the coming months. I don't really, is it really a potential obstacle? I mean, my whole thing is, I don't really know how long weed takes to get out of your system. The type of testing they have, he could stop smoking weed right now. And I don't know, I really doubt it would still be in his system. What is this, May, June, July, August, right? June, July, August. I don't know. Right? I'm not a doctor, so I have no idea. I've smoked weed for most of my life, so I feel like if I stop smoking weed for the next 3 months, will it still be in my system? Probably, and hopefully it would be. But I don't. Yeah, I don't. I've always been an advocate about not being intoxicated when you drive, but it's like you could not smoke weed for like a week, and if they test you, I feel like the weed would still be in your system, so they would say that you're intoxicated. So I don't, it's like I don't really know the rules or the testing, for this. But I mean, if Nate Diaz agreed to it, so I would assume that he should be fine with it. Maybe, there's a special exemption that says, well, we know you smoke weed, we'll give you a test, a month out or 2 months out, or, I don't know when they're going to test them. Are they testing him right now for weed? Is it a week before the fight? Is it after the fight? I have no idea. But do I agree with this decision? I mean, if that's their rules, that's their rules. Other commissions have other rules. I'm assuming in Nevada that I guess you can smoke marijuana. I know the UFC. I don't really know. I got to be honest. I have no idea. I know the NBA. If there's one league I've heard about is I believe the NBA stopped testing for marijuana. Maybe even like the NFL. I'm assuming the UFC has basically also stopped testing for marijuana. But I'm an MMA casual, so I can't follow every detail of everything. I know the UFC testing USADA, but as far as marijuana, I can't remember a instance in a very long time where a fighter has been kicked off a card or got suspended for marijuana. It may have been Nick Diaz or something like that, right? Like recently, as far as a fighter being suspended by the UFC or a commission not allowing a fighter to fight because of marijuana in their system. But I haven't heard a story like that in the UFC in a very long time. I don't really remember stories like that from boxing, right? Like I can't remember a fight being canceled because a fighter had marijuana in his system. But it's the Texas Commission. Let me know your opinion of this story. Do you think this fight should they be testing for marijuana? Is that really worth it in Texas? Or do you think they should not be testing? I'm along the line that they should not be testing for marijuana, that we've moved past that. And it just seems like, if someone wants to smoke weed, who cares? It's just not really, it's not a performing enhancing drug in any way, shape, or form, right? Like it's not gonna, if you think going into a fish fight with someone or a boxing match, or an MMA match and being high, right, is a good idea, good luck with that, right? I don't think that would be a good idea. But I'm Jason. The world is yours. Today we had a story about the Texas Commission rules Nate Diaz will be tested for marijuana ahead of his boxing match with Jake Paul. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button. And please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.